And one of the funniest things I always find is when I wear a hijab and I start speaking and I have no accent and they're like, wait, Greek? You always like, yeah. Assalamu alaikum, Elena here, the Muslim travel girl, and today we're talking about traveling to Greece as a Muslim, whether you should go, how to prepare, and what to expect. Without further ado, let's get started. I am half Greek, half Bulgarian. If you follow this channel, you probably know I was brought up in Greece and I absolutely love it. I have a house there. We visit every year for several months. We have family, and I'm a convert to Islam. So I was actually Greek Orthodox before I became Muslim about 14 years ago, Alhamdulillah. I don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about Greece and Muslim friendliness. So hopefully this video is beneficial. I do have a video on this YouTube channel from like 10 years ago, and it's there if you want to watch it. But I thought I'm going to update it because every year that video gets a lot of views and I'm like, it's been 10 years. It's time for an update. Let's start with whether Greece is Muslim friendly. Greece is Muslim friendly. And I am absolutely amazed over the years, since I became Muslim 14 years ago, how much Greece has changed and how much more tolerable it has become towards Muslims, whether it is Muslims living in Greece or Muslim visiting Greece. It has taken very big strides. You might not see it as a tourist when you visit, but as somebody who has been there, who visits every year, it's changing, and I am very excited about all these changes. Thousands of Muslims visit every single year Greece and they don't have any problem. People are very polite, people are very kind. There is so much more opportunity to like find halal food and be modestly dressed and not be stared at. And even if people stare at you, by the way, they most of the time stare out of curiosity and not the fact that you're covered or that you're Muslim. And one of the funniest things I always find is when I wear a hijab and I start speaking and I have no accent and they're like, wait, Greek? It always it always makes me laugh. But they're very friendly. I have never experienced open racism. If people are racist, they are not going to be racist on your face. As tourists, you shouldn't worry about that. Pretty much every business owner in Greece deals with a lot of Muslims throughout the year, especially in the popular areas. Greece is very Muslim friendly. I highly encourage you to visit because it's also a beautiful place, and I would highly encourage you not to visit only the most popular islands. Swimming in Greece with a burkini, and I feel this should be added on because in one of the Facebook groups yesterday, a lady commented that when she went to Algeria, I believe, no bashing Algeria here, just an example, but I know this is in Egypt as well, that they don't allow burkinis. And my brain just exploded because it's a Muslim country. Why wouldn't you allow burkinis? Anyways, in Greece, you don't have the same problem. I wear my burkini pretty much all the time when I swim in Greece. I mean, pretty much all the time. I wear my burkini all the time when I swim in Greece. But I have never had an issue. Yeah, people might stare at you because half of them are wearing bikinis, but I don't mind. I don't care. And also, if you want full privacy, Greece is the perfect place where you can rent yourself a private villa with a swimming pool, get your hijab out, and put your bikini on and swim. And I feel that this is like such an opportunity for Muslim women to do that and have a nice holiday. I have done that in Crete, which is one of the places I highly recommend. I do have articles on muslimtravelgirl.com and also villa suggestions on muslimtravelgirl.com. And I'm going to leave links in the description for you to check them out if you want to find out how to book yourself those villas, inshallah. Halal food in Greece has become way more popular than it was 14 years ago when I started writing about Muslim travel in Greece. And I'm very happy about it. Athens has a lot of choices when it comes to halal food. You can try souvlaki, which is the most delicious traditional version of kebab. And I'm sorry, guys, but it is true. But you can try halal souvlaki in Greece, even in Mykonos, even in Santorini. And I really like that. And I like the fact that due to supply and demand, and that's one of the reasons why I always say supply and demand is so important. If you visit places that don't currently have halal food, you as a Muslim traveler asking for halal food will make those businesses pay attention and notice and offer that service. And Greece is a prime example of that Because 10 years ago, when I started writing on muslimtravelgirl.com about halal food in Greece, there were literally 1 or 2 restaurants. Now, there is a full list of restaurants offering halal food because many more tourists, many more Arab visitors from the Middle East, many more British people and American Muslims and, Malaysian and Singaporean are visiting every single year, and it makes it so popular that they're offering that. And I am so excited to see that it is working. So halal food in Greece is still on a shortage. You won't find it in small populated areas that, don't see many tourists. So for example, if you go to Sifnos, which is an absolutely stunning, beautiful island that I highly recommend you visit, but it's a small island, you're most likely not to find halal food. But visiting Athens, you will find halal food. Another thing I would like to touch on is the fact that as a Muslim, please visit places that are not super popular, because you can inshallah survive on vegetables and fresh fish. Greece has so much fresh, delicious fish that you can eat. And I do have an article on things that you can try. But you should try different things because it will give you a taste of the culture through food. And that's part of why we travel, I feel and I believe. Mykonos has, Crete has halal food, Rhodes has halal food. There are hotels that can offer options on halal food if you order in advance. And I have a list of them, and I'm gonna leave links in the description for you guys to check out. But you won't find issues. Even in Thessaloniki, there are halal places that you can check out. Some in Corfu as well. I grew up in Corfu. I highly suggest you visit Corfu. Alhamdulillah, you can find halal food in Greece. Just be mindful that it potentially might not have too much choice when it comes to halal food. You will find something. And if you don't find anything, try some vegetarian or fish dishes, because they're absolutely delicious. Praying in Greece is another topic that I think I should cover a little bit here. Greece currently has official mosque in Athens. So there is an official mosque which took so long to process, and alhamdulillah, I did work years ago with the association that started this whole process for the mosque, and I'm so proud that we do have a place to pray, because back 10 years ago, Greek Muslims and immigrants who have lived in Greece 30 years would pray in parking lots and basements because they didn't have that option. The official mosque is in Athens. If you are visiting small islands like Mykonos and Santorini, it is harder to find places to pray. It is not common to find places to pray. So I would not expect you to be able to do that. There are a lot of places that are unofficial that I potentially wouldn't know about. Like in Mykonos, there are workers who are Muslim who definitely have a place to pray. Whether they pray in a house or they have rented a store, you just have to basically ask the locals. But officially, there is an official mosque in Athens for you to pray and check out. There is also a prayer area in the lounge in Athens airport, which I was thoroughly shocked when I went and found out. But it is there, and it shows that when there is demand, there is supply. So alhamdulillah, if you find places where you can pray that are small, very local, run by, local Muslims, please message them and let me know, because I would absolutely love to be able to compile a directory of them for other travelers, inshallah, to benefit. So the best time to go to Greece for me will be off season. So I would personally go in May, June, September, end of September and October, because that's when the crowd gets out, majority of the crowd, off season, quieter, if that's what your vibe is, right? If you like the crowd, the touristy, the overpriced food and drinks, then please go in July and August. Personally, as a local, I rather go off season when it is less crowded, less busy, and I can enjoy more of the local vibe and feel. For example, I went to Santorini and I went to Mykonos after years of not being there in October, and I really liked the experience because the weather was nice. If you are a hijabi and you're renting a pool, I would highly recommend going end of September, October, because the water is still warm, not as in May when it's too cold from winter. The weather is still nice, you can still enjoy the pool, you have the privacy and everything. And the same applies to the beach, because the water is still warm if you want to swim. And again, use your burkini and enjoy it. Here are my favorite places that I would highly recommend you check out that are not Mykonos and Santorini, because I feel that yes, they're beautiful. Yes, they deserve a visit, but a couple of days in each island is more than enough. And we have so many beautiful islands and mainland for that reason that you can visit and enjoy. If you are into history and nature and not a religious aspect, one of the areas I really like is called Calabaca. It has monasteries on top of hills and monasteries in the mountain. It's absolutely beautiful. One of the places that I would recommend you visit that are not super touristy and super popular, for me it will be Sifnos, Naxos, Paros, Andros, which are absolutely beautiful islands. Rhodes has a lot of Islamic history as well, and it's definitely worth visiting, as well as Crete, because it's such a big island that you visit. Corfu is special in my heart because obviously I spent my teenage years there working in the summers, but also I would recommend visiting Thessaloniki. One of the things about Thessaloniki is that Halki is next door, but there is also a lot of history there. The island of Thassos, which is only 2-3 hours away from Thessaloniki, had a marble manufacturing facility, and a lot of the marble from Thassos is in the Kaaba area because it apparently keeps cool during the summertime. They have used some of the Thassos marbles in the Kaaba. It's amazing, and I really like reading about this fact, and I would highly recommend you visiting the island. It's a beautiful island that you can visit, and it's a short drive from Thessaloniki as well if you want to explore a few places and do a drive. Greece is not a very big country, so literally you can drive from Athens to Thessaloniki and do a stopover in Skiathos, which is another beautiful island on the way there, or drive to Peloponnese where we have a lot of history, or to Olympus and see nature and beauty outside of the islands, which are beautiful. But Greece is very diverse. If you are to do something like this, you can explore way more. And again, as a Muslim traveler, it is totally safe for you to do that. You are not going to be subjected to racism. I know it happens, but it's such a small percentage that I have personally never experienced it. And I visit every year for several months and weeks at a time without an issue. So I would highly encourage you, inshallah, to plan a summer holiday to Greece. Do let me know in the comments if you are planning to go to Greece, if you have been to Greece, what was your experience, and anything else you would like to share that inshallah I can create a guide or help other Muslims who are traveling and watch videos. If you like the video, like, subscribe and share, and until next time, assalamu alaikum.